There is a time in every person's life when hidden seasons carry more meaning than visible victories. Many laughed at you when you chose silence instead of noise. Many doubted you when you walked the path alone. But what they never realized is that stillness was your preparation, and solitude was your training ground. Now the moment is coming where the purpose behind every delay, every quiet chapter, will be revealed in full clarity. You were never forgotten. You were chosen with intention. The moments that felt like rejection were actually redirection. What looked like closed doors were simply divine shields guarding you from what would have broken you if it had arrived too soon. When you thought heaven was silent, it was only working in secret, arranging the people, the places, and the opportunities that required more time than your impatience could allow. There is a question that often arises in the heart of those who are set apart. Why me? Why the waiting? Why the wilderness? Why the silence? And yet, the truth is simple. What appeared to be punishment was truly preparation. You were not being overlooked. You were being preserved for a moment that only you could carry. Understand, this, delays are not denials. They are strategies. Every day that felt wasted was a day when roots were going deeper, unseen, but necessary. Others may have rushed ahead, chasing applause, but you were being grounded, strengthened, and refined. Your prayers were never ignored. They were answered in ways far wiser than you could see at the time. The no's you encountered were never designed to diminish you. They were there to redirect you, so that when the right door opened, you would not just enter, he too would thrive within it. The silence you endured was not abandonment. It was alignment. Heaven was fine-tuning your ears to recognize the whisper beneath the noise, teaching you to trust without evidence, and forming resilience that applause could never provide. If you had received what you once begged for, it would have crushed the unformed version of you. Instead, you were given time to become strong enough to carry it. Preparation always feels like pause, but pause is part of progress. The waiting room of life is never empty. It is filled with lessons, shaping, and unseen movements. Every setback was actually a setup for something greater, and every not yet was protecting you from being launched before your wings were strong enough to sustain flight. And now, as you stand at the edge of what you once dreamed of, you can begin to see why the timing had to be exact. This season is not ordinary, it is orchestrated. The moment you thought had passed you by is not lost, it is being magnified. You never missed your chance. Heaven was perfecting it. When the unveiling happens, there will be no question about who was guiding you all along. Delay was not rejection, it was refinement. In hiddenness, your gifts were sharpened. In silence, your resolve was forged. In obscurity, your heart was purified. You were not being held back, you were being set apart. The same people who assumed you were stuck will soon witness a rise so sudden and undeniable that they will understand delay never meant defeat. You must learn the difference between being hidden and being forgotten. Forgotten suggests abandonment. Hidden, however, implies preservation. Rare treasures are never left exposed. They are shielded until the right time. Diamonds form under pressure in unseen places. Seeds grow best beneath soil and darkness. And in the same way, you were concealed, not because you lacked value, but because you carried too much value to be exposed prematurely. Heaven was protecting you from platforms that would have fed your ego, but starved your character. You were kept away from rooms that were too small for your calling. You were unseen by people, yes, but never unseen by the one who marked you. Every quiet season was purposeful. Every lonely night was sacred. While you wrestled with silence, heaven was sharpening your discernment, detoxing your dependence on approval, and strengthening your inner foundation, so that when the spotlight comes, you will not crumble under its weight. Some prayers were not answered at the time you wanted, because they would have revealed a version of you that was not yet healed. So, instead of granting your request, Heaven granted you time to grow, to heal, to align. Waiting was not withholding. It was preparation to carry what is now ready to arrive. This is what it means to be chosen. Your life is not rushed. Your destiny is not placed on display before it has matured. Just as fruit is left to ripen before it is picked, your journey required patience before promotion. And now, when the revealing happens, you will rise with wisdom, not just visibility, with depth, not just recognition. Do not despise the years you felt invisible. They were not wasted, they were sacred. The cocoon may have felt like a coffin, but it was transformation in disguise. You were being rebuilt in silence, so that when your name is spoken aloud, it carries weight. The same silence that felt like suffocation will soon be understood as sanctuary. And now, the season of unveiling is near. The same power that kept you hidden is about to bring you forward. But this time, you rise not as you once were, but as someone refined, rooted, and unshakable. The journey through obscurity was never meant to harm you, it was meant to prepare you for the exact moment you are now stepping into. You are not late. You are right on time. You were not overlooked. You were preserved. And the world is about to see why. Isolation was never designed as punishment, it was an invitation. When you were pulled away from the crowd, it wasn't because you were abandoned. It was because you were being refined in intimacy. The world saw emptiness, but heaven saw a sacred space. Loneliness was not the absence of people. It was the presence of clarity. In solitude, you discovered who you are when no applause is given. In silence, you learned whose voice truly matters. The empty room became the classroom where your spirit matured. It was there you were taught to walk in alignment without needing validation, to trust without visible proof, and to find peace in the presence of the unseen. The truth is, crowds can distract, but solitude purifies. Many crave recognition, but recognition without preparation leads to collapse. You were spared that collapse, while others rushed into rooms they weren't ready for. You were being trained in hidden places to carry a weight they never could. Heaven stripped away the noise so you could hear what matters most. Every unanswered call, every ignored message, every moment you felt unseen by people was an opportunity to be seen more clearly by the divine. In that silence, prayers became more powerful, trust became unshakable, and faith became independent of circumstance. This was the intimacy required to handle the calling that rests upon your life. Rejection, as you felt it from others, was redirection. Each closed door was guiding you deeper into purpose. What you thought was loss was actually liberation. Liberation from shallow connections, false security, and distractions that would have diluted your mission. Heaven needed you focused, undistracted, steady, and so you were pulled away to be prepared now. After the seasons of stillness, you no longer merely know about truth. You know truth by experience. Knowledge has become wisdom. Faith has become substance. Relationship has replaced performance. You are walking with a depth that cannot be shaken by applause or silence. For you carry within you the intimacy that sustains beyond any stage or spotlight. The pain you faced in those hidden places was never wasted. Every tear, every betrayal, every moment you questioned your worth, they were not signs of abandonment. They were tools of refinement. Nothing in the life of one chosen is wasted. Suffering is never random. It is sacred. Pain shapes compassion. Heartbreak deepens wisdom. And loss builds resilience. Understand this. The enemy never wastes energy on empty vessels. Resistance comes against those who carry destiny. That is why you have faced storms that seemed unfair, betrayals that cut deeper than expected, and struggles that looked endless, because heaven has entrusted you with an assignment too significant to leave untested. The storms did not come to destroy you, they came to shape you. Endurance cannot be learned without pressure. Strength cannot be revealed without weight, and faith cannot be proven without trial. Your struggles were not evidence of weakness, they were proof of purpose. The truth is simple. Your suffering produced wisdom that no classroom could teach. Your breaking expanded capacity that comfort never could. Your wounds became windows through which light could shine. Heaven was not distant in your struggle. It was closer than your very breath, guiding you through every valley. And now, those very wounds become part of your message. Your pain becomes your platform. Your story becomes your testimony. Others will see your fire, your resilience, your strength, but only you and heaven will know the furnace it came from. The cost you paid was not for nothing. It was sacred exchange. This is the weight of being chosen. Your calling carries an authority that cannot be faked. It was paid for in silence, in pressure, in tears, in patience. That is why your presence carries something disruptive. Mediocrity cannot remain comfortable near you. You stir atmospheres simply by showing up. People may not understand why, but they feel it. Some will distance themselves, some will misunderstand you. Some will even resist you not because you are wrong, but because your light exposes their shadows. The oil on your life carries a cost they cannot comprehend, and you must not apologize for it. Do not shrink to ease the insecurity of others. Do not dim your flame to make others comfortable. You were chosen to challenge, to disrupt, to raise standards. The vision you carry is higher. The conversations you crave are deeper. The life you are called to live is weightier. This is not arrogance. It is anointing. The isolation you have endured was not punishment, it was consecration. You were being trained to stand where others stumble, to remain where others flee, to lead where others follow. Yes, it may mean certain relationships no longer align. Yes, it may cause you to feel different, misunderstood, even targeted. But do not mistake rejection for disobedience. The discomfort of others is not your fault. You are not too much. You are simply not average. And that distinction is exactly what the world needs from you. Because when you walk fully in your calling, unapologetically and faithfully, you don't just carry yourself, you carry atmospheres, families, communities, generations. What rests upon you is not ordinary. It is weighty, disruptive, divine. And that is why you could never blend in, no matter how hard you tried. You were always meant to stand out. From an early age, you probably sensed it too were different. Your thoughts went deeper, your spirit carried more weight, your heart longed for something beyond the ordinary. That was never rejection. It was revelation. You were marked for purpose, and purpose always comes with separation. While others sought popularity, you were being prepared for destiny. While others chased acceptance, you were learning obedience. And though loneliness has been your companion, at times, it has also been your strength. For those who change the world rarely begin with applause. They begin with conviction. This is the cost of being chosen. To walk a road less crowded, to endure misunderstanding, to carry weight others cannot, and to do it all with faith that the one who chose you will sustain you. And now, as you rise from the hidden years, it becomes clear, nothing was wasted. Everything was working together to build a foundation unshakable, undeniable, and unbreakable. You were never created to blend into the background of life. From the beginning, you were set apart, carrying a distinct sound, a distinct vision, a distinct weight. That difference has often made you feel out of place, misunderstood, or even targeted. But the reason is simple. What rests upon your life makes others uncomfortable with what is missing in theirs. Do not shrink because your presence unsettles. You were not designed for comfort zones. You were designed for transformation. Your life is meant to challenge mediocrity, to provoke growth, and to awaken what lies dormant in others. That is why you cannot fit into shallow environments. Your depth demands a higher atmosphere. Yes, being different comes at a cost. It may leave you standing alone at times. It may create tension in relationships that cannot carry the weight of your vision. It may cause others to criticize or resist you, but never confuse their discomfort with your disobedience. You are not called to blend in. You are called to break patterns. The truth is, your life carries a spiritual frequency that cannot be silenced. You are not too much. You are exactly what you were created to be. And while the world may not understand it, heaven affirms it. Do not apologize for your fire. Do not water down your calling to soothe the insecurity of those unwilling to rise. You are not here to play small. You are here to walk in power. Every time you felt the weight of resistance, it was confirmation of your assignment. The greater the resistance, the greater the purpose. You carry something disruptive, something transformative, something that shifts atmospheres. That is why doors open in unusual ways. That is why you often feel the tension of being both misunderstood and yet undeniably marked. From childhood, you sensed it. Your thoughts stretched further. Your spirit longed for more. Your heart carried weight beyond your years. That was no accident. Heaven marked you early. The separation you felt growing up was not rejection, it was revelation. You were never meant for the flow of the crowd. You were meant to be the current that changes direction. Being different is the price of being called. Common was never your destiny. You carry within you the seed of transformation, planted not for applause, but for purpose. If fitting in is your goal, you will compromise your truth. But if obedience becomes your focus, you will walk in a power that does not need validation. Remember this: you were not born to entertain. You were born to impact. And impact rarely begins with applause. It begins with obedience. If they never clap, if they never invite you, if they never understand you, it is still enough. Your approval does not come from people. Your identity is not built on crowds. Your destiny is anchored in divine assignment. Your difference is your divine fingerprint. It is proof that you were stamped with something heaven crafted, something the world cannot duplicate. Stop seeking confirmation from voices that were never meant to validate you. Stop explaining your calling to those who were never in the room when you were chosen. You were set apart, and with that comes grace, to walk alone when necessary, to say no when others say yes, to build what has never been built before. Do not dilute your calling for comfort. Do not compromise your truth for acceptance. You are called to be different unapologetically, boldly, faithfully, and the more you embrace that difference, the more your life becomes a doorway for others to step out of their own limitations. Every setback, every betrayal, every heartbreak has secretly been working for your rise. Nothing that came against you was wasted. What was designed to bury you has only planted you deeper. And seeds do not die in dirt, they grow in it. The weight of darkness, the pressure of trials, the silence of hidden seasons, they all forced your roots to strengthen. They stretched your faith, sharpened your vision, and built endurance. Your rise was never meant to come through applause, but through adversity. The pit you once fell into has become the platform you are now standing on. The betrayals that cut you deeply cleared space for true connections. The opportunities you lost made room for the calling that was always meant to be yours. Heaven specializes in turning what was meant to break you into the very thing that builds you. So now, you are not just returning, you are rising, stronger, wiser, more resilient. That pain did not cancel your promise, it confirmed it. That breakdown was not the end, it was the beginning of breakthrough. The soil meant to bury you has become the ground from which new life is emerging. This is how heaven works. The grave they dug for you becomes the evidence of resurrection. What they used to silence you becomes the very sound that carries your voice further. What they meant for harm is being turned for good. And when you rise, no one will be able to deny it was heaven's hand all along. But remember this, your rise is not just about you. You carry generational weight. The battles you've fought have always felt heavier, because you are not only fighting for yourself, you are breaking chains that have gripped your bloodline for generations. You were not born to repeat cycles, you were born to break them. The addictions, the fears, the patterns of lack and limitation that defined those before you, they end with you. Every time you chose healing over bitterness, Faith over fear, prayer over panic. You were shifting not only your story, but the legacy of everyone connected to your name. You are the interruption to generational cycles. You are the answer to prayers spoken long before you were born. You are the living evidence that heaven writes new chapters. And yes, the battles have been intense, but that is because the breakthrough you carry is weighty. Heaven entrusted this mantle to you because you were built for it, not in your strength, but in divine strength. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be willing. Willing to confront what others ignored. Willing to heal what others ran from. Willing to rise when staying down would have been easier. You are not merely a survivor. You are a pioneer. The chains that tried to hold your family are trembling now because you are stepping into freedom fully. Your life is becoming a blueprint of possibility, a testimony of deliverance, a legacy of courage and faith. This is why the pressure has been relentless. This is why the storms have felt personal. Because your obedience is rewriting a story much larger than your own. And soon, those who doubted will see with their own eyes the undeniable evidence of divine purpose unfolding through you. Every word spoken against you, every doubt thrown your way, every attempt to belittle or disqualify you, they will all become fuel for the fire of your becoming. People may have judged you by your flaws, but heaven has always seen your future. They measured you by where you were, but heaven was shaping you for where you were going. And now, all the whispers, all the laughter, all the underestimation will be silenced not through revenge, but through results. This is not about proving them wrong. This is about heaven proving itself right. Those who dismissed you will have no choice but to watch as you step into arenas they said you would never reach. Rise to levels they said you weren't qualified for, and thrive in spaces they thought were closed to you forever. People judge what they see. Heaven cultivates what is unseen. And now, what has been growing in silence is about to be unveiled. The same mouths that mocked you will soon speak your name with respect. Your life is becoming a living testimony, a sermon written not with words, but with transformation. What was once ridicule will become refinement. What was once insult will become evidence. This is what divine reversal looks like. Ashes turned to beauty, doubt turned to destiny, silence turned to sound. And when the spotlight finally comes, no one will be able to credit luck, talent, or timing. It will be undeniable that it was favor. That unseen hand has been guiding you all along, orchestrating every delay, every turn, every hidden moment. They will see the fruit, but only you and heaven will know the crushing it took to produce it. They will see the strength, but only you will remember the nights of weakness. They will see the glow, but only you will recall the fire it came through. You didn't quit. You didn't fold. You kept moving, even when it hurt. And now, the reward is here not to exalt you above others, but to exalt the one who never left your side. They said you wouldn't make it. They said you weren't enough, but they were wrong. And soon they won't just hear about what you've become, they will witness it with their own eyes. Because this is not the peak. This is only the proof. Proof that faith works. Proof that obedience brings fruit. Proof that every step you took in the dark was leading you into light. But do not settle here. Do not grow comfortable in the confirmation of what has already been revealed. This is only the beginning. What you are walking in now is the trailer, not the full film. The preview, not the fullness. The appetizer, not the feast. Heaven is not finished. The doors you've seen open are just a fraction of the ones that will open. The healing you've experienced is only the first taste of the wholeness that is coming. The breakthroughs you've celebrated are just seeds of the abundance still ahead. The enemy would love for you to believe that this is as far as you go, that you've reached your limit, that it's time to settle. But the truth is, you're only being positioned for greater. Every mountain you've climbed so far was only training for the elevation that awaits. You are not finished. You are being fortified. You are not peaking. You are being prepared. This is proof that your wilderness had a purpose. The silence was never empty. It was sacred. The waiting was never wasted. It was foundational. And the obedience you showed when no one was watching will echo in the harvest, now visible to all. Yes, people may clap now. Yes, recognition may come. But you already know, the applause is not the end. The recognition is not the finish line. It is only evidence that the unseen labor, the hidden discipline, the private surrender, was never in vain. This is not the conclusion, it is the launch dot. You did not endure the fire just to be average. You did not walk through storms just to arrive at mediocrity. You did not cry, pray, and push through the nights of silence just to settle. You were built for more, and heaven is back in your next step with force. So walk boldly, dream bigger, stay hungry, do not shrink now. Do not silence your fire now. Do not let comfort rob you of calling. This is the moment to step forward with courage, to move with conviction, to rise with the confidence of one who knows they were chosen for such a time as this. You are proof that perseverance is powerful, proof that hiddenness does not equal abandonment, proof that timing is sacred, proof that favor outweighs fear, proof that calling overcomes criticism. And if this is only the beginning, if this is only the first wave, imagine the overflow. Imagine the magnitude of what is still to come. Imagine the legacy being built through your yes, through your endurance, through your refusal to quit. The same strengths that carried you through the wilderness will now carry you into abundance. The same intimacy that sustained you in silence will sustain you in success. The same grace that kept you hidden will now keep you visible. Because the one who began this work in you will not stop until it is complete. So keep moving, keep building, keep believing. This is not your end, it is your launch, and the world is about to see, without question, why you were chosen.